EduTechGuys Radio, radio.edutechguys.com.
The opinions expressed on the site and its programs are those of participants and not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any specific educational entity, sponsor, company, state, or government agency.
And here we go!
Here we go! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I lost my show notes. This is not a good way to start. Hello and welcome to this episode of EduTechGuys Radio, brought to you by Southwest Arkansas Education Cooperative and Hope Public Schools. Both are located in Hope, Arkansas, the booming metropolis that it is. We'd like to thank CDWG for providing some of the equipment that we use on the show. This is David Henderson.
And this is Greg Moore. And we will now hold a moment of silence for Jeff Madlock, who is not with us at the moment.
Chirp, 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 chirp.
All right, that's enough silence.
Okay, that's enough silence. Yes, we're assuming Jeff will be joining us at some point. Then again, he may not. We have no idea. We've actually not heard from him since like lunchtime, so we don't know what happened to Jeff.
He's in a lunch coma and will not be recovering anytime soon.
That's right. Oh goodness.
That means we get to poke fun of him all we want, and we.
That's right. Hey, when you fail to show up, you get made fun of, and you get put on various committees.
Yep.
So we're going to make a motion to make a committee and make him the chair of that committee.
Yes.
That is how it works, especially in education.
Sounds like the voice of experience.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Hey, you can join us, radio.edutechguys.com. You can follow us along on Twitter. We are at EduTechGuys. We're also on Facebook /EduTechGuys and various other places, www.edutechguys.com. You can go there, fill out the form if you're interested in being on the show, or if you are an independent music artist and you want to have your music featured, let us know, and we'll be happy to put your music on the show.
On the air.
On the air. Alrighty. So,
without our taskmaster, we're just adrift. We're adrift on the radio seas. We don't know where to go. He's not giving us dirty looks, going, okay, we got to move on now.
That's right. That's right. We have no taskmaster, and really, in the show notes, we really have not much of a task.
It's been that lead up week to testing with all the infrastructure trial, and for this. I've even lost track of how many different kinds of tests we're doing now. I've been asked questions like, do we have the plugin for the test on this lab? And I'm like, which test is this? And they're like,
yes.
The test? And I'm like, there are a couple at this point.
Yes. We no longer have the test. We have multiple tests.
Yes.
So which test are you?
And of course, none of them can be using the same, browser plugin or software or technology or have the same requirements. No, they're all something different, and they all have their own unique quirks that you have to work through. So yes. It's been a busy week.
Well, and I think and I correct me if I'm wrong based on your knowledge, but I think a couple of the tests are actually administered by the same parent company and yet require different environment.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes. That's exactly like I think we switched tests from last year and we're on a different test this year,
yes.
But it uses the same app.
Yes.
It uses
yes.
test app. So
yes.
it's like this is different how exactly? I guess it must be from an education perspective. I wouldn't know. Just the clueless tech guy who makes it work.
I don't know. I will tell you that the back end of the system has some of the same ideas behind what we did last year, but of course they're in different places and it does different things. And
exactly.
So
are they at least the good ideas from last year? I'm hoping they're at least the good ideas.
I plead the fifth, or give me a fifth or something.
Yeah, I was hearing about how I was watching Jeff. I was peering over Jeff's shoulder as he was prepping some tests, and I was admiring the fact that you could only cache 10 tests at a time, and there was like 60 or 70 in the list or something like that, and it's like, so you gotta check, okay, 10, and then click, and then wait, and then click, and then wait.
Yes.
Boy.
Very similar. We had a discussion at lunch about uploading user data into Google, and a very similar process.
Yes.
You upload some and you wait. Same thing with the testing. You download some and you wait, and then you download some more and you wait. And
you can't have numbers for last names, which we learned the hard way in our...
Yeah. That was an interesting experiment there.
Upload a bunch of test students for the infrastructure trial, and of course we had like student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4. Makes sense.
Yes.
Can't use
How
numbers.
easy.
Yeah, I think that no, you can't use numbers for last names. So surprise. Yeah. And now my phone's back.
We just got a text from Jeff asking if we're on the radio.
Radio?
I
Question mark?
so.
Question mark? Running late. No.
Yep. Yes, you are. You're running late. I'm assuming we're on the air. It says we're on the air. We're not monitoring. We're just throwing it out there.
We're down a man. We would blame the fact that
that's right.
So, yeah.
And somewhere I had something. I don't know. I'm feeling mighty incompetent about now. So there
we did learn though that we can download the after you've uploaded your students. If you have trouble with some of the students in the system, you can download the list, and the list at that point includes the errors for which students had errors being created or processed or whatever, which was not particularly obvious from the get-go. So it's like we were having questions about why this wasn't actually
it
was erroring out. We didn't know why it was erroring. You just re-download the sheet that you just uploaded, and now it has a new column that says why it errored.
So when you do the upload and it fails, then you download the upload that you just uploaded with the failure, so that you can see what the failures are in your downloaded upload.
Makes total sense.
Absolutely.
Total sense in like some weird alternate universe where you actually do that on a regular basis.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Where you download the uploaded error file or something. I'm not even sure I remember what I'm saying now. I'm so confused.
Yes.
The uploads and the downloads and the
punch
the
stroke
thing and
testing.
the other thing.
Right. And then we've had some issues with getting some of the testing apps pushed, because there's some problems related to that, where if it's interrupted halfway through when pushing to an iPad, it can get stuck trying to manage the app that's not there, and then it won't clear the management command in order to actually push the app so that it can be managed. So the joys of technology all around.
Yes. Moral of the story is, don't interrupt a push, even when it's beyond your control.
Exactly. It's like, wait until it is out of the cart, it has good Wi-Fi connectivity, and then pull it. Go to self-service and pull it on down. Don't push the app.
Don't push the app.
Nor love nor money.
That's right. Pull it, don't push it.
Exactly.
No salt and pepper.
No salt and pepper. None at all.
No. That's kind of like those, like when you get certain Windows updates, and it tells you don't power off your computer while applying the update.
Right.
Okay, if you're on a desktop and not connected to a battery backup, and the power company decides they're going to turn off your power. Hey, I didn't turn off the power. It was not my fault.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Same thing with pushing an app. Don't
push it if you don't know the iPad's not ready. Well, I just pushed it to 2,000 machines. Yeah, that's not going to work.
I didn't know that one wasn't ready.
Exactly. So lessons learned. So yeah, if you're using, I'm not aware if this is an issue specifically with the Casper suite. We have contacted Jamf Software, and we have worked through like, okay, what exactly is this? It's stuck managing the app that's not there. What's going on? And apparently Casper is working with it, or Jamf Software rather is working with Apple. They say it looks like it's more an iOS bug, but apparently that's still being worked on. So.
Fingers pointing everywhere.
Everywhere, all over the place.
So is there a cure for that though, or is that one's just hosed?
So you in order to fix it, you have to wipe the iPad
the device.
Over,
of course.
Yeah, super helpful.
Right. Blow it all away because one app wouldn't install correctly.
Yes, exactly. Not so great. Not so great at all. Kind of not real fun.
No, kind of not.
Kind of not.
Kind of not real
fun. But it's still better than trying to do testing on like a Windows lab or whatever, where you have to install the lockdown browser and then any pop-up window that appears, whether it be from antivirus or like a Java update, which, oh, by the way, you have to have all the Java updates or it doesn't run.
Yes.
It's just the secure browser thing is just always...
Well, and I really thought that when they said we now have a Windows app for testing, that it was an application for testing,
Right.
not basically the same thing we had with the Java and secure browser. That's not
Right,
an app.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
still
Yeah. Just make it self-contained, please. I beg
yeah.
of
You know exactly. I'm tired of sticking triangular pegs into.
Octagonal holes.
There you go. Thank you for saving my bacon.
Looks like I gotta go
Oh.
let Jeff in. I will be right back.
Well, Jeff is locked out, and that's what happens when you run late.
Too late.
That's just the way it is when you're running late to the show, and we lock you out of the building. So in the meantime, we appreciate anyone and everyone that's listening. Thank you very much. We have the chat open, so if you go to radio.edutechguys.com, you can sign in and pull up the chat, and feel free to chat along, and we'll be happy to chat with you about whatever edutech topic is on your mind. And ladies and gentlemen,
Please welcome to the show.
Please
Jeff Madlock.
Oh,
How's things?
things are good. Things are good.
Things are
Welcome to the
rolling.
show. Welcome to the party.
Everybody loves a party.
Welcome to the party.
Sorry I had to testify in a capital murder case, so just been running a little late.
I'm guessing it was close to that. Anyway.
Oh, they said to let me go.
Well, they knew you had a show.
We're going to let you go because you got a show.
You got a show. You're off the hook.
Gotta come right back.
That's right. That's right.
So what's the topic today?
The topic today is
Winging
Kanye West downloading illegal music on the very site
That was
he
so-
was filing a lawsuit against.
Yes, that was just really.
No, we were actually talking about testing and.
Yeah, but,
Hard.
but that actually happened.
I know that actually
Anybody
did.
listening,
Yes.
Yeah, so Kanye West posted this screenshot of he was promoting. Was it Tim Flora or was it? Gosh, I can't remember.
He was promoting
Nick?
something.
It was
Not Nick Flora. We
No,
promote
exactly,
him.
yeah.
Wait, let me Google real quick.
Yeah, so he was promoting a song, and he posted a photograph of his open browser listening to the song, and one of his open browser tabs was the Pirate Bay, looking for some music production software that normally runs about, what was it, like $800 or something like that? I can't remember.
Well, he has claimed that he's $53 million in debt.
Right, exactly.
So he's so broke, he's pirating software from Pirate Bay.
Yes,
Yes,
that's totally what it
yes.
is. But please don't pirate his music, because
Because you can only get it from his place.
Right, exactly,
You
yeah,
can only get it
exactly.
from him.
Tidal can only get it from Tidal. So yes.
Well, the ultimate thing though is that his album, Life of Pablo or whatever.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So he is complaining that brand new album is available for download for free
Right, exactly.
on Pirate Bay.
Yeah.
And then he's got the tab open, but he's downloading software.
Yeah.
Off of the same site. I'm like, dude,
Yeah, don't throw rocks if you live in a glass house. So.
That's cool. But, oh well. Live by the sword, die by the Pirate Bay.
Die by the Pirate Bay.
It's interesting. I guess.
The software. Sorry to interrupt. $189.
It's just $200.
$200.
Oh my god, I could afford that. And that on tech education guy salary. So
Yeah.
$53 million in debt or not,
That's true.
I could buy a cheeseburger and some audio software.
Cheeseburger. I was gonna say, I'm sorry I'm running late. I actually came from the high school. The kids are doing video stuff there, and they're
Oh, I forgot about that.
they're really building up their video production. And I have to say, I'm not gonna make an obnoxious statement, but
but he's gonna make an obnoxious
well,
statement.
it's funny.
You know it's coming.
I go to see them from 3:30 to 4:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays, and we don't have enough time.
What? Yeah.
We have our topics that we're discussing and things that we're working on. I try to keep them on, like, this is our project we're doing. Let's keep them on this train. But yes, we get off task, because the question today we discussed, how to shoot video, what we're looking at in video. So we looked at some good examples of, you don't have to just shoot one big frame,
Right.
let's talk about that stuff.
Sure.
And then the question came up with, well, hey, what if we want to shoot a screenshot of the disk, the desktop of the computer? let me show you a trick. Hold down Command, hit spacebar, type in QuickTime. There it is, QuickTime Player.
Record.
And now you can record. And they were all like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is great. And I was
Yeah.
like, and what's great is you can select just the window you want to record, or you can
Mhm.
record the whole screenshot. And but it's interesting. I'm not sure what's happening in America's public education classrooms because you can keep kids excited. Even the ones when this started, there were 2 in the class,
Mhm.
in the group. This isn't even a class. We're meeting after school. They're in the 2 in the group that were kind of, you kind of felt like they showed up just to see if they could cause some trouble or maybe make fun of what was going on. But once you start throwing out enough information and they get excited, they're the 2 now that have actually shot more video and are doing more of the work because they're having a blast doing it.
Sure.
Exactly.
Sure.
So that brings me into, I think, a great topic I'd like to discuss today, if it's okay with you guys.
You go right ahead.
No, we got to stick to the show notes.
So,
we are winging it, and we are only speaking about winging it.
That's right.
I was thinking about makerspace, in-depth makerspace discussion, and I was thinking about this the other day because right now when you say makerspace, everybody thinks that you're talking about, hey,
We
we're
are
live.
live.
You want to come in, be part of it? Hey, before you go, are you leaving?
Nothing like saying we're live on the air. to make
Before-
Yes,
everyone's
yeah.
like,
actually, run. That was.
we need to keep microphones in
But
our
here's-
offices more often.
Yeah, exactly. Want to come online? What's interesting about makerspaces to me is now, because we have 3D printing,
Sure.
that's, in my opinion, when you say a makerspace, 95% of people in education think, oh, a 3D printer.
Start
Mhm.
there at least, yeah.
That's where they think. But what's really interesting is that we've had makerspaces forever.
Right,
Sure.
Exactly, yeah.
Art
Yeah.
class,
Shop class. Yeah.
art class, shop
right.
class, band,
Right.
music,
Right, exactly.
drama. Those are all makerspaces. And it's interesting. I think that the reason with the makerspaces catch on is because now we have the ability to do something we haven't done before, which is, well, now we can design this piece in Google SketchUp and then we can make it,
Right.
which we couldn't do. Before we had to take some iron ore and smelt it, and and you know what it smelled like?
Oh.
Oh.
But but here's the thing that I think is really interesting, is like video. What we're doing, the kids are taking iPads, they're shooting their video, then they're opening up Google Drive and they're uploading it to a directory in Google Drive, coming back to the editing machines and piecing all their stuff together.
Yep.
Because the iPads are using our iPad Air 2s that shoot 1080.
Yeah.
8 megapixel cameras on the back end, and they're shooting some great video. And I think it's interesting because when I look at band, when I taught band, it was sheet music, and if you had to play off your scales, you came into the band director's office and you played off your scales. Now, down the road, we got a little more, progressive by you go in the band director's office and you hit record and play on the cassette deck, on the old, flat cassette tape
Yeah.
recorder, and you and you played your stuff. But see, now we're at the point where my wife, who's a band director, is using a company. It's a platform. It's an app where the kids take out whatever device they want. Their music is there. They hit go, and it starts the metronome with them, and it shows them in real time what notes they're missing. If they're playing A and it's an A flat, it will read A flat. It'll go through it.
Wow, that's
But
cool.
it's recording it, and then it's immediately when they hit save, she can listen to it.
Yeah.
And she can actually comment on it, or she can do a write-up on it and say, this is what you're getting, this is your grade, this is great, watch those A flats, and she can see the notes they missed. Which we go, well, musicians should just hear that. Yeah, a musician should hear that, but okay, a mathematician should use a T square and a pencil and paper. No, that's what we have calculators for, make it all easier.
Sure.
But makerspaces have changed now, and I think I would like to see the EduTechGuys champion the idea that makerspaces are not just a
3D
freaking
printing.
Lego robot and a
Right.
3D printer.
Yeah.
A makerspace could be any space that you're making projects and creating things. Because to me, I started thinking about it, and we're seeing the demise of bands, choirs, drama departments. We're seeing those. That's the first of all, when people cut things from a budget,
Yeah.
arts. That's the first thing. But arts are the original makerspace.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our thing. The fine arts are the original makerspace. And that's really interesting because I think each of us can think of a part of fine arts that made us who we are.
Oh, yeah.
Music,
Sure.
art, drama, writing.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
absolutely.
the thing. Writing lab is a makerspace.
Mhm.
You're creating.
Well, here's the thing. So, as you said, most folks when they think makerspace, they're thinking, technology makerspace. That's fine. So, what we can do, we either EduTechGuys directly or we in the general sense, those of us who are trying to promote the idea of expanding that to make sure that it covers more of the fine arts, what have you. Take the technology side of the makerspace and turn that into the drama piece. Oh, you know what? We've got this makerspace where we can 3D print and we can code the light show.
Right.
We can do. Oh, wait a minute!
Costume
all of a sudden,
design.
right? Exactly. We have costume design. We got set design, and
Right.
all of a sudden we have quote unquote drama.
Right.
However, we're doing it within the scope of that makerspace.
Exactly.
The students are still getting all of the standards and creativity and whatever else you're trying to accomplish in that makerspace. But at the same time, all of a sudden, you've got this drama that you're doing. And we're just using drama for an example. But I like that example because
Right.
it covers all of it. So somebody's got to write.
Right. Exactly.
Somebody's got to make and or paint.
Right.
Somebody's got to, if you want to have students do the actual music,
Right.
But
in
hello.
the technology infusion,
Yeah.
see, it's funny. Bill Gates has stated just recently that technology is not just a tool, and he's right again. And I'm gonna give the old Gates the credit on this one.
You can't give Gates credit. We're evil people here, dang it.
But he's right. We like to say, well, technology is just a tool. Well, but it's not anymore. Its infusion in our life is here,
Sure.
and it is part of our life. It is. I mean, it's how we get our news. It's how we live our lives. How we communicate constantly.
Mhm.
I had a discussion earlier with someone in the television industry, and I said, listen, I think television as we know it is in a slow demise, just like the home phone. It was
Right.
here, and then it was gone.
Right.
And because now I think that directed television stations like satellite TV, National Geographic, the Animal Planet, those are, I want to watch something about composers. Well, then turn over to Composers 24/7. I mean, that's, but
Sure.
See, that's the thing is that doesn't exist anymore hardly. I mean, if I go to the Sci-Fi Channel, it's going to be wrestling. It's
Yeah.
going to be
Yes.
it's like, oh, you mean the Weather Channel?
Yeah, exactly.
There's sci-fi on the Weather Channel.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
good?
Yeah. Oh, MTV? Oh.
But
Yeah.
I was just thinking, but we're really at that point where you're exactly right. It's time for us to show them that, if we turn this room into a writing makerspace, and you came in and there was a massive color copier that did binding and the whole bit, and there was and then the screen was ready to be published, and blogging was a big deal, and how to set up this or how to set up, not even blogging, just but tweeting or using Medium, which is
Sure.
now a big deal. I'm writing an article for this, and it's going out on Medium. There is a makerspace. I
Sure.
mean, we're now making a makerspace where you're taking your brain, doing your stuff, and then taking it to the next level.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the key. So that's the key for anything. I mean, a math makerspace.
Yeah.
That's coding. That's robotics. That's physics. That's science makerspace.
Sure.
I think what I'm getting upset about is that it's the new cute word, makerspace. Well,
Silver bullet.
we put a makerspace in our school.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Yeah.
I mean, really, for what? I mean, here's what's interesting. Our robotics team got a 3D printer, and immediately they began to print all the stuff they had created in wood with a 3D printer.
Yeah.
And they're rebuilding all their robots correctly. I am amazed. I am impressed.
Yeah.
I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. My whole attitude towards the whole thing has changed, and I'm on board 110%.
Yeah.
Whether it's one kid or 50 kids, I'm really impressed with those kids that they've taken the opportunity to do this. It's
Sure.
just like the kids showing up at 3:30. They're there. We grew to 9 today,
Man.
and and they're all real excited. And you find out stuff. One of the kids says, "Well, I have a bunch of GoPros, but I use them on my kayaks." On your kayaks for what?
The what?
Oh, I kayaked the buffalo and the Caddo and stuff, and I was like, what? Why do you? Well, I like the video. I watch it, but I was like, we should put it all together.
Right.
You guys you're shooting video. What in the world?
Yeah.
You find out about all this stuff. And,
Sure.
Well, he actually lives right down the road from me. Hey man, yeah, we see each other all the time, and we like to do this, and we fly a drone. You have a drone? Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah, I'm pretty good. He's a really good pilot with it. Well, okay, what do you want to? It's really interesting, and I guess it's really interesting that maybe that's other cool part about a makerspace is it brings kids together so that they can find out about
the guy down the road has kayaks and has a drone.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We admit that our relationship has grown because we know each other, a common interest, a common work interest.
Sure.
But we find out so much else about each other, and I think that I can see that in the classroom. And that maybe that's what a makerspace needs to be also, and maybe that's a way to help it evolve, is that when you're going to makerspace and you're going to be there, say, an hour, 20 minutes of that throughout the time also needs to be a social time.
Sure.
Where the kids are learning about their team members and what they're, that's how you really find out what your job is, what my big deal is.
Yeah. Where do I fit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's. I was thinking about Eric Whitaker. Eric Whitaker. You've probably heard of Eric Whitaker. I know you heard of his deal, the virtual choir. You've heard of virtual choir, no?
Oh, is that where they?
Everybody sends in them singing
right,
stuff.
Exactly.
And he
he compiles it.
And then performs it live.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he's a big deal. In fact, either Tuesday. Maybe it was this Tuesday or next Tuesday, he's performing in Dallas at the Meyerson with his new piece, and you download an app now. He has an app, and at certain parts in the piece, you press something and play something for your phone that's part of the actual live piece
Oh
that's
my
being
gosh.
played.
Wow.
See, that is, some people will say, well, that's gimmicky. No, that gets the crowd involved in the music that they're listening to, makes them all musicians, and makes them feel like, I'm a part of this.
Well, they're all
piece.
part of it. That's exactly right. They're
That's a really big
interacting
deal.
with it. I mean, that's
and that's what we find out.
Yeah.
That's been the interesting part of, I think, every makerspace is finding something for every kid. And I know that's hard for some teachers to do. It's really hard when you're teaching one single thing.
Yeah.
In the classroom, if you're doing today, we're doing pie.
apple, cherry,
blueberry, honeysuckle. Honeysuckle.
I was
Honeysuckle.
like, really?
That's not a real thing.
That's it.
But I mean, but I think that makerspaces, it's time for us to evolve that, and maybe EduTechGuys will lead that and start putting out there just to see.
Yeah, I say we go for it.
And find other ways to get people thinking about makerspaces. Because if the schools are going to keep putting them in, that's great. But right now when you think about a makerspace, they've got some robots in there, some cute bits or whatever they're called, and a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Maybe like an innovation hub might have a big laser cutter or things like that. But
it's more than just the technology.
It's more than just the technology. It's a makerspace is there's that word maker.
Yeah.
To make something.
We got the space covered.
Right.
We got to work on the maker.
But maker is not always a tangible thing.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
no.
Music is not something you can hold.
Right.
I don't know. I've heard some people could really belt it out.
I can't hold it in. I'm gonna sing.
I was watching The Voice last night. Let me tell you.
Did you watch The Voice last night?
I did actually.
The guy with the long hair and the beard.
Dude! Oh my God!
Just out of nowhere. I'm sorry.
Man, he was rocking it. Man.
He was rocking. He was amazing.
That was awesome.
And but it was funny what he said. Well, I have a degree in guitar. Yeah, there you go.
A degree in guitar.
I'm a guitar player who sings. Yep, he has a degree in guitar performance. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up today. I thought that was something that's been on my brain for a couple of days, and it came to me. I don't remember when it came to me. I think I was reading something of yours.
I was on the road to
Damascus.
Damascus.
Reading something of yours, and I thought you were right. And I don't remember what you'd written, and I thought, a makerspace, and we're building a new area, and it's going to have some makerspaces. And I thought, but a makerspace makes it sound like.
It puts the emphasis on space, rather.
Well, and it makes it kind of sound elitist. The first thing that when people hear a makerspace is they think, oh, that's for the nerdy kids.
Yeah.
That's for the kids that are real smart that are going to build, because it's robotics. Well, robotics, that's.
Yeah.
And it's 3D printing. That's. But
I
it's
can't
funny.
even spell 3D.
Why couldn't you have a culinary makerspace?
Yeah.
Because the stuff.
Making food, I would sign up.
Yeah. But the technology and
But really,
you know what sous vide cooking is? Have you seen sous vide cooking?
I've not. Is she good?
You dirty rat. If I spelled it
I
right.
have no idea.
Yeah, sous vide cooking is really interesting, and there is. I wish I had her name real quick. So what sous vide cooking is they take food, they put it in a sealable bag, and they pull all the air out of it, and then they cook it in a constant temperature water bath. And now the technology's gotten to a point where I forget her name, but she makes one that's for the home, and it's this piece, and it's actually Wi-Fi connected. You can find the recipe online. It downloads it to the sous vide. You drop it into the water bath, put your food in there in the bag, and it cooks it. That's how a lot of these places are doing it now. Is that because since it's vacuum sealed and it's cooking it, the herbs and everything that are in it,
they stay right there.
They get compressed into the food.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but you see all this stuff like people that cook with liquid nitrogen, and they do all the cool stuff
Yeah.
with that, and they make these foams that they, I mean, I wonder how many kids in a culinary makerspace where you had all this great technology for cooking and the right stove and the pans and the knives and all the stuff and ice cream machines. You watch anything now and
Yeah.
I'm making ice cream in 12 minutes with the ice cream machine.
Yeah.
Scraping it
Yeah.
out. I think that would be pretty neat for a school to think that openly, because how many chefs would you turn out? Because there's a really funny part about it. A lot of places, there are a lot of restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone can start up a restaurant. I mean,
Well, and the extension of that is, it's not quote unquote just cooking. You have all the stuff that goes with that. I know it's a scary thought, but there's a lot of math in cooking. I need a quarter cup of this and a half cup of that. Oh, and that's if I'm making 3 servings. But
Right.
actually, I need to feed 12 people. So now, how many?
Right,
how
exactly.
much of each ingredient do I need? And
Right.
what about this? And what about that? And And again, it goes back to that whole maker environment. I mean, at that point, at some point, you could be talking about writing cookbooks. You could be talking about food photography. You could
Right.
be. I mean, really, it's.
Well, the kids asked me about technical writing today.
Hmm.
That came up by one of the students, and I said, writing in general. I said, this student is doing the aviation program here, and he loves it. And I was like, so you want to be a pilot? He said, no, I really want to work on the engines. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Wow.
And I said, who writes the books about that stuff? What's that called?
Uh-huh.
I said, that's a big deal. I mean, no one thinks about the fact that out there somewhere, someone's writing down the instruction manual or the why or
Yes,
the what, the when, the
and
where.
for many times we need to kill that person.
Yeah.
I will tell you, based on my personal experience, there's a demand for folks that can write clear, concise, technical manuals.
Yes.
Because they seem to be getting fewer and fewer.
Right. So I was going to say, I looked that up. It's called the Nomiku, NOMIKU.com.
Oh, that's the sous vide thing.
That's the sous vide thing, and it's pretty interesting. One lady started it, and the team's built itself pretty huge, and it's really neat because a lot of them had to have special containers. This thing is designed so that as long as you've got the big thing to hold it in water, like it could be a plastic thing or a metal, you just clip it on, you dial up the temperature you need, or you download the what it is. I've got 1 pound of chicken and blah, 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 and it knows automatically to cook it at this temperature.
So it actually provides the heating as well as the monitoring.
Exactly. It's the heating. Okay. It's everything. It's the element and everything.
Wow.
And it's pretty interesting. But it's very impressive. It's very, very impressive. And it's actually a very healthy way to cook. So, but that's the technology that we're talking about.
Sure.
Wi-Fi, what? That's not. I really think that that's something that we should champion. Is let's look at everything because then you get to the point of everybody has a makerspace. It's a maker lab for hair care. Right?
Sure.
It's a maker's. It's funny. You're right. We've had them forever. I mean, one of the things that we do in our school system in the agri and industrial machine department is they are with Briggs and Stratton, and they rebuild small engines. They learn about small engines, and they rebuild them, and they have these demos over there they take apart and put together. Makerspace.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it is, kind of. But what would keep us from building our own engines and working on solar powered cars and doing the electric car thing and the challenge and the whole thing. But
Sure.
I know I've taken up a lot of time there, but
no, that's good. We need that because literally in the notes it says we are winging it today.
Oh, does it really? I wasn't paying attention.
Yes.
That's what I get. That's how seriously I take your notes. Well, you want to take a break and
kick
got
over
some music?
Sure. Let's do it.
Oh, You got to go over there and do it. Sorry.
I gotta get
We have a modified studio today. We're doing some add-ons.
It's modified.
Yeah. We're doing some add-ons and the hot tub's getting put in where normally we have our stuff. So
All right. So Nick C. Built for Love.
awesome.
Go for it.
Side of the tracks, ain't no way back, ain't no way to get that woman. When it all fades black, know that you can't get that, honey, you can't get back no one. So hold on to what you've got and heal the damage done. But just know you're not the only one. 'Cause honey, you were built for love. Don't let them tell you you ain't good enough. 'Cause honey, you were built for love. Honey, you were built for love. Living in the wrong time, thinking with the wrong mind. Think you better get back, woman. Back into those night moves, thinking with the right moves. Still you can't get back no one. So hold on to what you've got and heal the damage done. But just know you're not the only one. 'Cause honey, you were built for love. Don't let them tell you you ain't good enough. 'Cause honey, you were built for love. Honey, you were built for love. So hold on to what you've got and heal the damage done. But know you're not the only one. 'Cause honey, you were built for love. Don't let them tell you you ain't good enough. 'Cause honey, you were built for love. 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 Honey, you were built for love.
But I got something to say, something that will blow your mind. The moment I hit the stage, I'm sure you felt it inside. You know my knack for hyperbole. This song might make you fall in love with me. It's happened before, so sit back can know that this bomb is set to explode. I'm like a shark attack with t-shirts in the back. Here we go, I'm flying so low, so you can all grab a hold of me, so you can take in this presence of greatness that I emit so naturally. You might be surprised to see just what I've got up my sleeve. Oh, just you wait and see. So with a quick show of hands, how many lives have been changed? It's getting hard to keep track with all the records I've made. There's something to be said for humility, but that's got more to do with you than it does with me. So sit back and react, cause this you ain't never seen. And on the count of three, you'll be bursting at the seams for more of me. Here we go, I'm flying so low, so you can all grab a hold of me, so you can take in this presence of greatness that I emit so naturally. You might be surprised to see just what I've got up my sleeve. Oh, just you wait and see. I've got nothing but the best intentions, and you've got cash to spend. And by my labels, calculations, well, that makes us the best of friends. So here we go, here we go. I'm flying so low, so you can all grab a hold of me, so you can take in this presence of greatness that I emit so naturally. You might be surprised to see just what I've got up my sleeve. Oh, just you wait and see.
And we're back.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here, I'm hearing nom-nomming on some crackers.
Exactly, yes.
I did not realize that song had a zero outro. It just ends. That was Nick Flora and the Presence of Greatness. And before that, Nick C. Built for Love.
Apparently we can only play artists that have the first name of Nick.
Nick, that's right. Nick, your buddy, your pal. Throw up in your car.
Good one.
Thank you.
That brought back a memory.
It did, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Throw out old movie quotes when we have nothing else to do.
Well, we were talking about makerspace. I had a mouthful of cracker again. It's interesting that that the biggest deal right now in education is nothing. I mean, really, it's gotten kind of quiet. Have you noticed? I mean, we're starting testing, but
It is quiet.
but testing's starting. We did some testing today.
Yeah, we were
just
talking
testing
about that.
season, which is
Yeah.
just pretty
Yeah,
much, which
Yeah.
is much the entire spring at this point,
Just
isn't it?
about. It's like, and the flowers are blooming, and the tests are popping up, and the number 2 pencils are growing on the trees.
I'd like to say this morning we did an interim test with ACT Aspire, which is a Pearson product, kind of test now. And
Not kind of.
Tis.
it's ACT's product, isn't it? It's on the Pearson platform. Does Pearson own ACT?
I don't know. Don't give me the line.
Well, anyway,
I'd rather sit.
we ran 368 kids on 80% iPad 2s.
Man.
So, and it was beautiful.
After we got the app on there.
After we fixed all the problems with it, but now we won't nay what actually got us into that. But I was just going to comment on Apple's platform that these are iPad 2s running the newest iOS.
Yep.
Which actually cripples the machine a bit.
It's running a little slow.
But I was very impressed that it still ran the test nav.
Well, but I mean, by the same token, these are Apple 2s.
Right, exactly.
Like, these are not Apple iPad Air 2s. These are Apple iPad
Originally
2s.
deployed like what?
I mean,
4 years ago.
They're 4 years old.
So 4 years old. He's 4 years old.
4
He's
years
4
old.
years old.
And someone said to me the other day, "Well, that's not that old." One of the teachers said, "That's not that old." I said, "Really? What? How old's your phone?"
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
that's different. Really?
No.
These are handled every day.
Right.
They're dropped and pushed and thrown and moved and touched and worked on every day, as much as a cell phone, probably more. They probably get more hand traffic than someone's cell phone. Someone's cell phone usually spends most of the time in a bag or a pocket, but they get a lot of traffic. So for over 4 years of a lot of traffic on the machines.
Well, and it's not just that part of it, but it's also just the fact that how much technology has changed in 4 years,
No kidding.
especially in the iPad realm. I mean, if we just look at, just look in that arena itself.
Right, exactly. Started with iOS 5.
Right.
What could you do with iOS 5? Well, you could surf the internet. Probably.
Yeah, that was pretty much it, wasn't it?
Wow.
But I mean, think about it. That's true. I mean, I guess it does. People always talk about the operating system of Apple, but I'd like to talk about their hardware. I can definitely say, I have a 1999 G4 sitting in my office that runs my studio software, and it's running a very early version of OS X. I don't remember exactly which version.
10.2.
But you know what? I still use it a lot. I can. And the crazy part, it's been asleep for years. It goes to sleep for months at a time. And I open it up, and it'll come on. And it's got a direct Ethernet cable to it, but it'll still get on the web, and it'll still run all my hardware software. That's the thing that speaks volumes about their hardware.
Yeah.
The hardware is pretty amazing. So, but I'm happy that iPad 2s have been a good investment. I believe they've been a fine investment.
4-year run. That's pretty good.
4-year run. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, most districts that are on some kind of a replacement cycle of any of their equipment, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's tablets or desktops or laptops or whatever, most of the replacement cycles are 3 years. So, you did not, yours are not on a replacement cycle. You got them 4 years ago. That's awesome.
This is probably the last year it'll make it, though. I don't see it
I
before
would
iOS
imagine.
10. That's probably not going to happen.
Is that me?
What are
They
you
heard us
doing
talking about us. What I was actually doing I was crunching some numbers, and I got sidetracked there. So like a boo-boo head. What's funny is
Boo-boo head.
Now watch your language now. That can't be broadcast on the radio.
So
Oh, that just about made Dave look
That was almost Coke on a Chromebook.
What's interesting for us is the cost breakdown of those iPads is per school day for a school year over the 4 years of their existence is 38 cents a day.
Wow.
For 38 cents a
For
day.
just 38 cents
the
a day.
In the yard. I'm saving a pet.
Oh.
A child.
Look at this poor iPad out in the cold. You can buy an iPad, a cup of coffee.
For just another 5 cents a day, you could add a case.
Do you know how many iPads go without finger protection? But no, I mean, think about that. I mean, look at that number.
Oh, yeah. That's
less than 40 cents a day is our investment, not even for a full year. Well, I'm just talking about the 190 days that we're in class.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I wanted to say, well, we bought them on a fiscal year, so I could count every day if I
Sure.
wanted to.
Yeah, you could.
And then you're talking about pennies.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And even at this point, I know people have their problems with this and problems with that. And yes, if I add in the licensing and stuff that we put on them and some other things like that,
The Wi-Fi.
okay, so maybe we're at we're still at maybe 50 cents a
Maybe,
day
right.
Yeah, exactly.
per kid.
Right.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
It's the future.
It's the future. And
Dun dun dun.
I think the things that are happening is the kids were real excited today in the video thing because they took the iPads out and started shooting some pictures and some video, and they're working on taking daytime video and turning it into a nighttime scene. And so they're real excited. And they came back and they shot some. And they've been playing with it, and so they've learned that sitting still is always a better shot.
Right.
Don't hold it. They brought back some really great angles and some great video that was shot with these iPads that looks wonderful.
Awesome.
And today's beautiful with a couple clouds in the sky,
Yeah,
blue
exactly.
sky.
Yeah.
So they got some really neat shots because they're working on a late night show, and so they want to make their intro where. And today and this rest of this week, they've been shooting video in between classes in the front of the school, getting the sky and getting the school, and kids go into class.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what they're trying to do is get enough so they can do a time lapse, a sped
Oh,
time
yeah,
lapse.
yeah.
So you see the kids go into class, and as the kids are going to class, the sky's darkening, and by the time they all go to class, it's nighttime. And hence
Oh,
lighting
my.
that at the Bobcats.
See, that is awesome.
Oh, and the other idea they had was they were getting ready to shoot the parking lot the next 2 days when kids leave at the day. So they're getting their cars and leave. And they were like, well, we figured out in motion we can put lamps, street lights in there, and have it get nighttime and have the street lights come on and glow down on the. They figured all this out on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and
From the kids that at the onset most likely were in there to poke fun at the whole
Well, and
thing. I mean, just
Right.
yeah, they really
Really?
went that this is really cool stuff, and so. And they're real excited about using Motion and Final Cut and Adobe Premiere and all that kind of good stuff. But they're realizing pretty quickly that wow, we have a pretty hardcore tool right in our hands.
Yeah.
And see, I think that's the other thing that I would tell people, and we know about this in technology. We always like to have the newest stuff. Who doesn't like to have the newest stuff? But like I tell them, someone said to me today, well, I want to do some stuff for my portfolio, but I don't have the right equipment. Maybe I was like. You're carrying an iPhone 6.
Right, exactly.
You couldn't have purchased a camera 10 years ago.
It would have taken a studio's worth of equipment to replace an iPhone 6
Yes.
10 years ago.
Right.
Yes.
And it was like, well, I can't do depth of field, and I can't. Yeah, you just don't have the right app. I can tell you 7 apps that do that. Now, they're going to cost you about $7 if you buy all of them.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Don't break the bank now.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
I hear that it's hard to. Really, have you ever you ever used a real camera and tried?
Yeah.
I mean.
There's a reason why whenever you watch the credits in a movie, they've got focus puller.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. He
Yes.
says, okay, and focus.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's interesting. I love watching television shows now, or especially movies, where they go, well, we were blocking the scene, or we were rehearsing the scene, and we've been shooting those with our iPhones just so we can watch them easier than have to use all the other stuff that they use to that. And we actually, when it was all said and done, the stuff we'd shot with this camera phone or whatever was better, so we used it in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, really.
Well, we're shooting 60 frames per second, and so
Right,
it worked out beautifully well anyway.
Right.
And I was trying to explain to this person, you don't listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think the other part of it is it's not what you're using, it's what you're making with it.
Yeah.
Back to makerspace.
Yeah.
It's what you're making with it.
I think
know
it's
a lot
also,
of guys. I play with a lot of musicians that I know a guy that plays on a bass, an upright string bass that's worth maybe $200, and he makes it sound better than a $60,000 100-year-old Dragonetti.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does, and he's learned to take that device and just make it sing.
Right.
It's all about the product. It's not about.
It is. I
how you
think
use
the problem that we get into, across the board, and I'm one of the folks who I was adamant that I was never going to have any kind of an all-in-one. I didn't want my camera to be in my phone, to be in I really didn't. I was
Keep
like,
your camera out of my phone.
I want, that's right. No Reese's contraptions here.
Peanut butter
That's right.
separate at all times.
Wait, I made
Madness.
you a plate of caw.
Yeah, that's right. So, but I really was. I mean, I was adamant about that, and I didn't want a computer in my phone. I really didn't. I was so anti. Until I got a phone that had enough of that it made sense, and I understood how to use it in various applications. I don't mean the apps. I mean the uses
how you actually use it.
And I think that's where a lot of folks still are. That's why you have teachers that they've got to do this work for their portfolio, and they don't think about the camera that they have in their hand with the phone and the microphone and the pic and you can do video, you can do stills, you can record evidence, it's all right there. And as you just mentioned, better quality than if you go buy the separate pieces and parts off the shelf.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you need a little bit more higher quality in some regard, like say you want to shoot infrared, you can buy an infrared attachment case for a phone for like, was it like $500?
Yeah, I don't think it was that expensive. No, I want to think it was $129.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know how much a FLIR infrared camera costs? Thousands of dollars.
Right.
And now you can get an attachment for your phone, so you can shoot infrared. Well, hey, looks like I could use a little more insulation right here in my house. It's like
right, exactly.
That would have cost thousands of dollars at one time.
And I think that's a big part of it. I think a big part of getting folks to understand is educating them in the different uses. It's just like the kids with the TV studio and as far as that quote unquote makerspace. Those students, I would guess it never even dawned on them that they could be using iPads to shoot video that they were going to turn around and then put on their TV station.
Right.
Never. What? It's an iPad. Not. I play Angry Birds. What are you talking about? Oh, wait a minute. I can do this and this and. Man, the video's better than the camera we have sitting here. That's the size of Kansas. Oh man.
Exactly. I think that's interesting. I was going to say, Greg's right. $217 gets you a FLIR 1 thermal imager for your iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, what HVAC guy wouldn't go, that's worth me buying. I got an iPhone. I just buy that.
Yeah.
There's all the leaks I'm looking for.
even in our job.
These are not the leaks you're looking for.
Oh, even in our job. Exactly.
Yeah, we've got, whenever I have to work on a switch, sometimes you have to work on a network switch and you've got to connect to it with a serial cable. Well, before you had to have like an old laptop set aside that still had a serial port. It's like, okay, I got to drag that ancient Dell out and go, blow the dust off. Okay, now I got to hook up with the serial port. Well, now you can get a what's it called? Red. Now I'm gonna let's see here. Red.
Dun dun dun.
Serial cable for
typity.
Yeah, you can now connect to a terminal device over serial with a cable. Red Park, that's what it is. There you can get it plugs in lightning on one end and you've got a serial connector on the other.
Don't we have one of those?
We've got two of those.
Yeah, we have two of those.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't use it. I can't even spell Park Red. Fred Park.
Yeah,
Fred Park.
It's $70, and then you can then I don't have to balance a huge laptop in one hand in a tiny network closet, filled with cables everywhere. I can just pull out my phone and then just type away. It's like a couple commands and then switches back up again.
That's beautiful. Freaking awesome. I mean, really.
And that's where we are. It's the modern world.
And like you said, I think more than just educating people what it can do, it's educating people about gaining the skills so they can find for themselves what it can do.
Yes.
That's what I told the kids today. I said, listen, if you're doing motion, here's all the help files are. Here's all the topics. Motion has Apple Smart. They've got the entire thing right there. And I said, but here's the best thing you got. Google it.
Right, exactly.
Just a motion tutorial on using the lift or using blah, blah, blah. Or you're making And you'll find about 17, 12-year-olds that can do it 10 times better than you will show you how to do it in 3 minutes on YouTube.
Right, on YouTube. That's right. That's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
And it's really funny how many things that we do, how many things we need to do or want to do that we don't know how to do. And where's the first place we go? We either go Google or YouTube. I usually go to YouTube. In fact, YouTube has become my Google. I generally look for a video first. I'm very visual. I need to see. Then, okay, I can read, what's going on. Pet peeve insert here. My only exception to that is I cannot stand YouTube videos where it's Notepad and the people are typing in Notepad what the instructions are. No, just freaking type. I don't need to see a video of you typing.
Right, exactly.
Anyway.
Yes.
I digress often.
He digresses. But yes, I totally understand. What's the common rule that says the first 45 seconds of the YouTube video are useless? You can actually get a plugin for Chrome that always skips the first 45 seconds or something of a YouTube video because like 90% of the time it's just introduction. This is the type of video that we're going, and now we're going to talk about. And by the time you get through all that, then you're actually there's a law.
I did not know that, and that's good to know that people are skipping the first 45 seconds of my YouTube videos because that's usually my funniest stuff. That explains why nobody's watching my videos.
Yes, it's called the Wadsworth constant.
Ah.
Yes. What's the exact? There's actually a specific number of seconds that you're
Oh my
actually.
goodness. Is it like a percentage of the total length of something?
No, I think it's actually just a set number. Yes. Let's see, 40 seconds. 30.
40.
Let's see here.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch all my own videos to see what I'm doing in the first 30 to 40 seconds, just to
Right.
see.
So let's talk about one quick Google app feature of the week, which is the new one, dictation and voice control in Google Docs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually told it later, or every time it comes up.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
But I actually told it to go ahead and let me try it out inside our ETGuys.
Oh, did you?
Docs. Yeah. So
Has it been doing it? Where did you do it?
I have it right here on mine. It says click to speak. I don't know what happens.
Okay, so click to speak and see what
Okay.
happens.
Allow the microphone.
Okay.
Is it listening?
Love Michael K. Love my phone case. Even listening.
Even listening.
What?
No, you need to let Jeff talk because it's on Jeff's computer. This is Jeff. I might be too far away. We're having trouble hearing you. So.
So far away.
Oh, so it's really cool. You can say stuff like period to end it, and you can say new line. Supposedly you can edit with it. I don't know much about it, but I think it's a great
Don't
little.
know much.
It's neat where they're going.
Right.
I mean, the ability now. I mean, speech to text is a great thing. But knowing a lot of handicapped people, I know this is. I mean, this day and age, like I Dragon Naturally Speaking, the free app for iPhone is amazing. I mean, it's pretty spot on. So we're getting to a neat place where, you know.
Well, and along those same lines, it amazes me. I mean, and truly just blows me away how far that whole concept has come. I mean, you and I are old enough. You remember the original Dragon Naturally Speaking, where you had to. I mean, you had to train the thing. You read paragraphs and paragraphs of text and different inflections and different the way you're going to end this one with a question and you end this one with a. It was almost like doing. Voice acting where they give you the ABC roll, up, regular, down. I mean, it's and even then, it might catch half the stuff you were saying.
Right.
And now, you can talk to your device.
Hey,
and it picks up. Now before it would pick up like 4% of what you're saying, and now it's like the other way. It's like 96% of what you're saying,
right?
Depending on how you say it, and
right.
You still have to enunciate. And
yeah,
there are still some things that it doesn't interpret the way we know to say it.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
I cannot figure out why we're not listening to what I'm saying.
Something like that. And on that note,
so we wrap up this show today.
We're wrapping.
Cool. It's been a fun show. Don't forget to visit us on Twitter at EduTechGuys. You can catch David at David and Ark. You catch me at J Madlock, and you can't catch Greg.
I'm running way too fast.
Also, catch us out at Facebook, facebook.com/EduTechGuys. Catch us on the web, www.edutechguys.com. Go to the website, drop down to the bottom of the page, and fill out our comment area. Let us know what you think of us, how cute Greg is, how fat Jeff is, and how sweet David is. Bald. He said it. That's terrible. David's not that bald. I'm Jeff Madlock.
I'm Greg Moore.
I'm David Henderson.
Have a great evening.
You've been listening to EduTechGuys Radio, radio.edutechguys.com.
The opinions expressed on the site and its programs are those of participants and not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any specific educational entity, sponsor, company, state, or government agency.